And so I think we need to give, not even I think, I know we need to give boys more models, more expansive models to try out, to
Yes.
say, you know what, this fits. I see some positivity with this. I see some affirmation and some affirmation from the ability to test out this model and that it's okay. The work stems from us as adults saying, this is the hard work that we need to do so that our children can actually grow up and be whoever they want to be, and be happy. A
Hmm.
lot of the trauma that we face even as adults stem from adults saying something is wrong or doing something that is nefarious, and we need to be culpable about that and how we're raising our boys.
I think there's so much to this. So I am a former educator and I do a lot of work with teachers, and was actually in conversation with teachers just the other day about kind of this thing of there are, and this was elementary through high school teachers. Of course, where were the men? They were the high school teachers. They were not the elementary school teachers. And this notion of our, as you're saying, our boys need men. They need to see men. And along with that, a lot of the work that I do is working with those female teachers to help them see boys through a different lens, because the notion of, these boys are, I was one of those teachers. My first class was 10 boys and 2 girls, and I did not know what to do with those boys. It was noisy. It was rambunctious. They were very creative. And I've spent 20 years because of that experience in the classroom in my work with boys. But so it is a revolution, because we have to change our education system, which it's changing now, not maybe for the better for our boys especially, but getting more men in the lower grades, and just those young boys who are surrounded by women all the time, and opening that bubble for more men to be welcome in those younger years of boys' lives.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that, Janet. Just the ability from a young age. I was talking to my best friend, Quince Griffin, the other day. We met each other in the first grade, 6 years old. We've been best friends for the last
Sweet.
43 years. I'm dating myself, but I was riding past our elementary school, and I picked up the phone and called him. I said, I was like, do you remember those days at Green Run Elementary School? And we were just reminiscing about having to run the 600. And then we started talking about our PE teacher, Mr. Stewart. And Mr. Stewart really was one of the only men in the school. And I
Sure.
was actually at that time complaining about Mr. Stewart because he was so hard on us.
Mm-hmm.
And, actually, as we, got older and became men, we were able to see Mr. Stewart later on in life. And he was very, emphatic and very infectious to us. He was like, you all were good young boys when, and so we thought about this. We had this man who was actually shaping us as young boys to go out into the world and be successful. But there weren't that many men in elementary school. We talked about our math teacher, Mr. Locke, who was one of our favorite teachers. And he was just one of those teachers who loved every student and poured into us. And so I loved math. And Quince is an engineer, and
Yeah.
he talked about math. His love of math started right there in sixth grade with Mr. Locke.
Wow.
That's the power. That is the power that we have as adults, parents, educators, community members. And your message, that core message of what you were saying at the beginning, that this work needs to start with the adults. We can't ask our boys to be the revolution. There's been so much press, and the youth are doing amazing things. The youth of this country are really paying attention and doing good work, but we can't ask them to be the revolution if we don't equip them with the tools and the emotional self-control and emotional understanding that they need to be able to step into themselves and their greatness and serve one another.
Right. You're exactly right. I think about the kids at Parkland a couple of years ago,
Yes.
and I was so